So,
Hey Kendo, how are you?
good, good. Can you guys hear me?
Perfectly. How about, can you hear me okay?
Good, good, good. Yeah, good. How's everybody doing?
Pretty good. I like all your toys in the back.
Oh, yeah. It's still like kind of a mess, but like these are like little vinyl toys here. This is like part of our studio. It still needs to be redone, but we do what we can.
Are you at the new Thud Rumble space?
Oh, no, no, no. This is just a exterior space.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, well, this is Lara, aka the Sound Sommelier, here with Kendo the DJ. Kendo, what's your earliest memory of hip hop?
earliest memory of hip hop, um, I would say straight up is my mom and dad were having work on the house with an electrician, and the electrician had a tape that he kept playing, and then he ended up leaving it at the house. It wasn't like the most age appropriate tape for me. I was like, I don't know, but he left MC Breed, "Ain't No Future in Front of Him," the whole.
Nice.
I used to listen to that tape back and forth, and I ended up memorizing. Uh, so that was like my earliest memory of that, just being exposed in that way with the electrician being there, like listening to that while he was like redoing the power in the house. Like my mom tried to give the tape back to that person, for a
That's a
while.
fantastic story. I've never heard anything like that before.
Yeah, it's kind of like we had a boom box. He says, "Hey, can I bring my tapes?" He brought his tapes, and he left the tape inside the tape deck. And my dad and mom tried to call him at the time. You know, that's all you have. You have to call the landline, and they
Right.
wanted it back. So that was like, for real, my first thing. I did that on my Walkman, walk around, and breathe.
Yeah, it's Walkman.
I thought it was so cool.
Kendo, have you always lived in the Bay? In the
Always.
Bay Area?
I was born at San Francisco General, which is now
Okay.
Zuckerberg, the Zuckerberg Hospital. So
Hmm.
born there, grew up in the Excelsior, lived on Brazil and Moscow for a minute, and then ended up living in Daly City. And then right now I'm in South San Francisco, so I'm still 100% Bay, but like kind of
Close
grew up
enough.
in the avenues and up. So
Nice.
slowly out.
So you've been a DJ for more than 20 years. What was the first record you ever purchased?
The first record I ever purchased, my mom purchased it for me. It was the Jungle Book. It was a story. It was like the story, and you have the record, and you have to turn the page when there was a bell that sounded. So because I know like the Bare Necessity song, um,
Hmm.
and then as far as me buying my own records when I had my own money, it was at Ultrasounds. I think I was I want to say a sophomore, like the end of sophomore year in high school. Don't know the exact year to that. And then
Hmm.
the Coco Brothers, you know, they redid Super Mario. That
Right.
was one of my favorite tracks. I used to play that. And back at
Amazing.
the time, I was saving up to get two turntables. I only had one turntable, so I had that
Mhm.
playing on the one turntable. So yeah,
That's
that
all you need. Who were some of your early influences on the formation of your style?
dude. I was actually, I feel like I was lucky um, as far as how I grew up because all of there's like so many pioneering DJs that came out of the Bay, both in the scratch side and then the mixing side. So it was a mixture of all those guys that were always around down in the old dungeon. Um, it was Swift Rock. Swift Rock was one.
Nice.
Uh, uh, Swift Rock and Realm was always around. He went to my high school as well. It was just he was so like sick at like his stage presence and the way he did. He was also in Rhythm and Motion. Shouts out to Scotty Fox. He's a big radio guy here, but just the art of song selection and how he rocked the crowd. That guy. The people who I worked for at the record store, Ultrasounds, Rob and DJ Ajax. So those guys helped me out when I first started too. So it's just that whole group of people, not to mention all the ISP guys that I was like a little kid watching them grow. So I was lucky to be part of that because I'm related to DJ Kubert. He's my first cousin, so I was able to um, to like to grow in that space, and it was like normal to me to see all these guys huddled around like a basement type place and just playing with records, and I was actually lucky.
Nice. So someone just asked, what was the first mixer you used when you started DJing?
Right here. The Gemini Jazzy Jeff mixer.
Nice.
It helps in your arm exercises, your hand exercises, because the fader's super. But this was one of the first ones. Before this was like the first mixer that I purchased, but it was a realistic one from Radio Shack, and that broke pretty fast.
Mm.
As far as gig wise, we had a Rain 18-inch mixer that we would bring to gigs. We'd come up with our console, turntables were this far apart, and you'd be like, yeah, rocking it with the 4-channel mixer. So yeah.
Your boy JE just said you stole it.
What's that?
Your boy JE just said you stole it.
Listen to that guy. He rarely talks, so yeah, with him it would be all silence. So.
How did you come to be involved with the mobile DJ crew Rhythm in Motion that you mentioned?
So I worked at Ultrasounds. It was a shop in the Bay Area, and all the DJs used to just hang out there. I was able to get a job there, and I was on the Sunday staff. And one of the guys who worked at Ultrasounds, Lorenzo, he goes by DJ Zoe up here. He invited me to go into Rhythm in Motion. He goes, hey, I know you're doing club stuff, but you should check this out. We do like weddings, we do like private events, we do school dances, and I was like, all right, let's go check it out. Krista Rebel was part of that crew, and so was Mike Realm. And I learned so much from them because I was kind of their piss boy. So I learned from the bottom. Like it's almost like, are you familiar with like motorcycle gangs?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like so I was a prospect in this mobile DJ crew, and then I would carry a whole bunch of crates, like gigs, and then we'd have like, well, this is just a box of records, but we'd have like 18 of these, and we had to bring them around, and then like we had to do that. We had to carry speakers, we had to carry amps, we had to set everything up, and then the main DJ would come and play, and we would just sit there and watch him. Like, all right, well, if you want to grow in a mobile DJ crew, you got to learn all these facets of the business of DJing, playing chords the right way and all that stuff. And, you moved on up. But through that mobile DJ crew, I learned a lot about song selection and reading the crowd, because you can play whatever you want. You can't just drop something off. So I learned a lot from Rhythm in Motion. And thanks to Zoe, who said, hey, man, because it's almost like a gang. Someone had to kind of vouch for you to come in. So that's how I joined Rhythm in Motion.
Nice. When did Thud Rumble become part of your grind?
Thud Rumble around 2000, around June, like the summer, June 2000. That was ScratchCon. ScratchCon was this forum of DJs. It's like a summit where all the DJs, scratch DJs from around the world came and they talked. I was able to intern and kind of work the event for free. Realm was doing all the visuals. Randall Rufino, he was in charge of like kind of putting it all together with Yoga and Q. And then I like doing that kind of stuff so much that the following summer I joined the Rumble kind of like off of a whim. I was going to school for nursing, and for some reason their original tour manager got sick. I said, hey, Ken, are you willing to go to Texas to the Lizard Lounge? And I was like, the Lizard Lounge? Where's that? Oh, in Dallas. And that was the first show I went to. I kind of helped set things up. I made sure like everything was good, working on the sound. And then subsequently later through that, I did tours and shows the same way. Was able to like open up and learn different things.
Nice. So, we got another question. Where's the pork tableist?
The pork tableist is at home. Yeah, like he's sick right now because of the air. It's orange here, so pork tableist is nice.
What can you tell us about Mixterious?
Oh, Mixterious. So maybe a lot of those people in the chat, a lot of them are our crew. Mysterious, it's a collective of artists, creatives, and what we subscribe to do is we want to do our craft, but we have an out of the box philosophy in mastering our craft. So we kind of look for different ways to push the arts. So like we're a whole crew that does that, and we started, way back in like about 2006, and now we're strong. There's a lot of notable people that came through and helped with the crew early on. A big shout out to my boy like DJ Tico. He held it down with me on Sundays. We did parties together, had fun, and he's like off to a marvelous career. DJ Amen joined our crew too. He does Young California, and he also is a radio director down in LA, down south. So they were in like generation 1. We're in generation 3 now with a couple of new guys. We have Mike Cool, we got Oteb and Solrak. Those guys all want to battle and do all that stuff. But yeah, Mysterious, we're just like a bunch of DJ mercenaries. So that's what it is.
So how did you and JE come together to form the first crew?
To be 100% honest, it all started off like a joke because we wanted to start like producing songs and music, but that wasn't like, because we're hip hop DJs, that was opposed to hip hop. We wanted to play massive like festivals and electronic festivals. So we kind of just put that together as a joke. And then we started getting booked, and we started doing, our first show was, I think in 2017, November. We did, we flew out to Mexico City to do a show.
Okay.
Then on, we just kept going. And our crowd, like big shouts out to everybody in Canada. They like us. We did a festival in France, in Nantes. That's around this time last year. They liked us too, so that's our sound. It's just, we're whimsical. It's not like battle, but we just have fun when we're DJing, and people like that. And I don't know what.
Mm-hmm. Your single "Break It Down for Me" charted on Beatport's top 100 releases. Did this bring a lot more attention to what you guys have been working on?
Not a lot more attention, but just different attention, because we're hip hop DJs, like I said earlier. Right. And then, so J.E. and I we're working on different remixes, and my friend Christopher T, who just does a lot of tech house, he's a really great producer. He approached us and said, "Hey, have you guys ever decided to go and do like electronic?" I go, "Yeah, we kind of do, but we don't know where to start." So he was working on a single. He goes, "Hey, I'll give you the stems, remix it." So we remixed it, and we put it out, not knowing that it would get any acclaim. We're kind of like, okay, this is our. We kind of tried it out, and it was like in the midst of the pandemic. No one knew what was going on then. We still don't know what's going on, but there was more uncertainty around, March, April. So when we put it out, we were surprised when it came out in top 10 in Tech House. Then it went all the way up, I think, to number 3. It could have went 2, but I wasn't really paying attention to it. I know I should, but I think way up to number 3 in Tech House, and that was a surprise because that was our first like kind of remix or release for that kind of music.
Nice. So what can listeners expect from one of your streams that you've been doing since?
Just because,
sorry.
No, absolutely nothing. We don't stream, but
okay.
Did go stream, it would be a whole bunch of rare cuts. Like I'm talking about, you put your phone to what's playing on Instagram or wherever live, and it would be a whole bunch of beats that is unshazammable. It's like whimsical, rhythmic, a lot of drums, some tablas, stuff like that. Because that's the kind of stuff I like. I like to find these rare breaks when we're on the road, and I like to play them. Just that's what I like to play. Right. So we did that at NAMM. We did like a good 2 hours of that kind of stuff at the NAMM show in Anaheim earlier this year. There's some footage out there, and you hear some rare breaks. A lot of the stuff too. 45 King, big shouts to him. He gives me a lot of tracks. And Thicker Crates. P out there in Colorado hooks me up with a whole bunch of stuff. So a lot of that stuff. It's kind of cutty, where like, you know, it makes you wonder where the heck did that come from. You know, what's, you know, that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff I like.
Nice.
If I wanted to play stuff for fun, I would say a lot of island reggae, maybe some Moombaton, stuff like that.
Okay.
Maybe old school funk too. So because that all comes together from the
Oh, rounds it out a bit, yeah.
old funk. I like that.
So you regularly share great advice in your posts here, like while working on new performances and routines, never take yourself too seriously. Your audience won't have fun unless you do. How do you maintain the energy throughout all your mixes?
I think it's a mental energy. It's like when you want to entertain people as an entertainer. Like I don't see myself as a DJ per se. Like I don't have that kind of edge to me. I'm out there and outspoken, so I see myself more as an entertainer. So it's just the mental focus, and then the body focus. Because when you go out there, my main thing is to give everybody 110%. Like you want the audience to feel your power through whatever screen that you're conveying, whether it's in real life, which I like doing, or on something like this. I feel like really need to give it 100%, 10% mentally, that focus. And then the next part of it is physical energy, because I remember the same time in France when I was jumping around the stage, there's like 10,000 people there jumping around on stage, getting people up and hype, getting them to jump around and move and sway. Like physically, after 30 minutes, it's demanding and tiring. After your adrenaline goes out, you feel it in your body. So I feel like physically you should be conditioned and more physically fit. Like I feel better now. I feel like I could power through like a 3-hour set, no problem.
Nice.
So I think it has to do with mental and physical energy. It's mind over the body for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And you take energy that's in your body and you're throwing it. It's like it's like like dogs come together in like packs. It's like that the brainwave energy that we don't speak about, that I think drives crowds. That's why it's different. Like when you're on stream and you're away from the crowd, you're disconnected. Whereas when you feel someone breathing, it's just that feeling that your body gets that, okay, I feel this guy's energy, that guy feels my energy, so on and so forth. But I think it's mind over matter, most definitely, like 110%. Out there. Put it all out there. If you're not sweating and gross after your set, then you didn't really do anything.
I definitely agree. That's the whole point about going to a live show, is the energy.
Yeah, it has
Whether
to.
it's
Even something like this, you have to bring energy, because I could just be like, yeah,
you could just
it's like you have to engage with whatever you're doing. So that's what I believe.
When did you start your residency at Charmaine's?
Charmaine's in and out. It was 2017 when we started. It was just like we did some special events, like some Sundays here for brunch and like New Year's. So we weren't every week. But since the pandemic hit and we couldn't travel, I worked with an old manager at the time. The manager moved on to a different venue. She actually moved out of the country. But we tried to figure out a way to open safely during the pandemic, as far as that. So starting June 2020, we started our weekly residency there, and we made it as safe as possible. So, don't get it twisted. We're 6 feet apart, but we replaced the dance floor with fire pits. So we removed the dance floor. The dance floor is gone. So there's fire everywhere. So people chill around the fire. And then we play beats that are conducive to like conversation. So people are just like conversating. And then if you try to get, like hardcore and start dancing, then we have to kind of tell them, hey man, foot loose. There's no dancing here. It's illegal. You have to kind of, as DJ, down. So it's a different vibe, definitely.
My next question was just how the vibe's been with partying since the pandemic.
I don't.
Have you experienced anything else besides the Charmaine's gig, or?
That's it. I mean, we do some live streams, and I'll get to that as far as what we do. But Charmaine's, I don't want to call it partying because it's more like a break from what's going on today. So when people go up there to go like eat out and drink, with like friends, and they're all social distance. I feel like it's a break from all of the bad things that are happening now. So it's like a mental break. Like they're checking out. It's like a little bit of taste of what it was like pre-COVID. So like when you're up there, you're around the fireplace, you got your drink, you got your food, you're sitting around friends that you probably haven't seen in, like 3-4 months. And it's you're interacting, but you're at a safe distance over a fire, and there's something really like calming about it. So I don't know if it's like, I want to say partying now, especially if you party where I DJ, it's kind of like a mental break. So it's not like the partying you think, all right, cool, let's get slammed and then let's dance around. It's more like, hey, I haven't seen this guy in a long time. I haven't seen this girl in a long time. Let's go sit, conversate, have a good meal, have like, a beverage, maybe a glass of wine. And it's less turn up and more just chilling out. So everybody's kind of just chilling out, enjoying vibes. So
yeah, and they're just like forgetting what's happening.
Yes, correct. It was weird to me at first because the first week I did it, I felt kind of guilty because I'm like, why am I doing this? There's 4 people here, like why am I even doing this? And I think we cycle. It's the upstairs could hold maybe 400 to 500, and we cycle about 50 guests every couple hours. So the course of the night, we'll get 200 people, but it's safe at like 40 to 50 people eating. So yeah, dude, I like what I do because I give people that break still.
For sure. So how do you think the current pandemic and possible future recurrences will affect your gigs?
Right now, I got a gig inquiry from Paris until October 2021. But depending whether or not we get out of this pandemic state, will only time will tell. We don't know. The one good thing that I hope comes out of it is I hope venues learn to sanitize all of their stuff better. I'm talking about bathrooms, the bar tops, the silverware, the glassware. Because there's been times in my 20-year career that you go to a place and it's just a total dive. It looks like the bathroom hasn't been serviced for a week. It like looks like the glasses are semi-dirty. But we've all been to those dives. I hope that doesn't happen anymore, just based on what happened. And as far as any normalcy, I don't see any normalcy for any time. From a year to 18 months, like, at the rate we're going in the U.S.
Yeah, I agree.
They're slowly opening up and they're slowly going back to normal, but over here it's still that state. And I want to even say California more so because we're super strict about our masking policy and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I wish New York was more strict. What have you been listening to in recent months?
Ooh. There's a lot of stuff I've been listening to. As far as
new stuff, like have you kind of delved into anything new that you haven't listened to before?
That I really, really like, maybe because I'm a Lord Finesse fan, but you could buy that stuff on iTunes, is the Lord Finesse, the remixes of Motown. So you just redid Motown. It's just fun. There's this one Marvin Gaye joint that he redid, and it's really cool. I like the island feel or the tropical feel of Aya Nakamura. I really like that. And as far as like a weird eclectic band, I like Kerbin. They play like bars. This is the third room. Yes, it's cool. Those are the
nice. Jay says to keep it real, Care Bear soundtrack.
Nah, that's what he likes.
Are you currently working on any projects that you want to promote?
Yes. We are involved. Just got off the phone with the director, Bao Chan, of the Paper Tigers. It's a kung fu that's hitting all the film festivals right now. And The cool thing about it is we did the ending track, JE and I, with 45 King and Thicker Crates, P over in Colorado. So we did the end track to it, and we're gonna continue to fill in spaces and do more for that movie. So check that out. The Paper Tigers, by Bao Tran. So that's like the sickest movie that is yet to like come out to anywhere streaming it. So check that movie out.
Will do. So you shared a post on here in June that said the time for change is now. Can you elaborate? Is this a reference to racial inequality in this country, or just everything going on right now? Or
It's everything going on right now, but of course with a heads up to racial inequality. Since 1776, the U.S. literally hasn't made as much change as we can as far as racial inequality. So I feel like we need to change that. And we also need to be open-minded. I feel like there's a lot of partisanship, and there's this divisible divide between the left and right. And I feel like to address our problems or concerns, I think we got to work together, and it's hard. It's hard to have two opposites work together. And right now, during the pandemic, having the pandemic around and all of that stuff, I feel like that's what we need to do. So,
I just wanted to ask, how are things going with the wildfires right now? I saw so many pictures posted.
yeah, it's like there's just all these things that's like hurting the earth that we just ourselves, we need to get better ourselves before we move on to tackling bigger issues. So we got to look in ourselves. My biggest challenge during the pandemic was staying healthy. When the pandemic hit, and I heard how devastating it was, and saw the effects, my focus was on my family and my health. So overall, my family over everything, and then my health. So that's what I've been focused on. I've been trying to do everything to get off all the medication that I was on, like high blood pressure meds and all that stuff.
You did.
So yeah, dude, I lost since last year, I lost close to 50 pounds. It's crazy.
I remember I saw you, I can't remember when last year, but last year I saw you, and you look fantastic.
Oh, right on. That's the donut loving part of me. I love to everywhere. Go to the airport, get a donut. And then sometimes, there's some airports that have Popeye's chicken in the morning. Eat that in the morning, just gouge, just have a good time. But right now, I'm having a different kind of good time. It's a kind of like, okay, I could do that stuff, but I really got to keep everything else in check. We're gonna start training on the mats soon with my boy Abraham, and
nice.
daughter. She's there. She's an artist. I'm not gonna say her name, but she's there. Shouts out to her. She's listening.
Yeah. And your family's healthy and good, and
yeah, my family's good. The hardest part is, I think, mental health. It's totally different. Like my daughter, she takes kind of virtual dance lessons. All school is all done virtually. From time to time. I mean, if the air quality is good, I do take my kids out to eat. I do get flack for that, but I mean, if it's open air, and there's a good breeze and everybody's distance apart, I think it's okay.
I took my son out for the first time last week, and it was a little nerve-wracking, but I think it's important.
Yeah, it's the best time now. I mean, not now during the fires, but when the air clears up, go to Fisherman's Wharf. There's not many, like in San Francisco, there's not many tourists out there, and it's like you get a table, get good food, good seafood, and then you kind of enjoy the day with the family. I like to do that. It's even more so, we used to do Sundays at Charmaine's, but my wife, she works too, so the best thing for us to do is just do Friday and Saturday. So we just do Friday, Saturdays. Sunday is just all family, no matter what. So that's what we do.
Well, Kendo, I appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything else that you want to add or promote?
Yeah, we got verified on Spotify, so to tune in. We average 2 listeners per every month. So if everybody else adds, in, then we could go up to 10 listeners. So yeah, you got verified on Spotify. I will be producing a whole bunch of mood music coming soon. It's not all going to be sad. It's all going to be mostly happy. And somebody on chat said water is life. Yeah, water is life, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have a great night and stay safe. And I'll
Much
see
L.
you.
Right on.
Thanks so much, Kendo. Have a good one.
For sure.